Alright guys, today I'll be reviewing Medusa at Six Flags Great Adventure. This is the 1999 B&M floorless coaster here. As a lot of you probably know, this could be Medusa's last season. There's a lot of rumors going around about it. Who knows if it's actually going to happen, but knowing Six Flags and Zimmerman and all that, it definitely could be its last season. So I want to review it and celebrate it in this video. So let's start off with the presentation. This ride looks okay. That's probably the best way to describe it. I sort of like the colors, but I also think they're strange given the old Medusa did not have these colors. Also, that billboard out in front of it looks so weird. You could definitely tell it was from Bizarro, and there's a lot of things that are from Bizarro that are still left in their sort of Bizarro phase, you could say. The Superman emblems you dive through on the first valley are still there, and they still definitely look like they're from Bizarro. It's very strange. The coaster does look decent at least, but you probably will not be waiting for it and taking in all the views for very long, because this ride always has one of the shortest waits here. It's tucked all the way in the back of the park, and it's a mid B&M looper, so most people do not come back to ride it, which is kind of unfortunate, but also it's just, yeah, it's a mid B&M looper in the very back of the park. Not many people are going to go ride it. Now, when you get into the station, you're going to choose your row. And honestly, I would recommend the front. This is one of the few B&Ms I would actually recommend the front for. But yeah, it's one of them. The view's great up there. You really get to appreciate all the effects and near misses up there. And I don't think the forces are really that much weaker in the front to where, okay, you definitely want to go in the back instead of the front. Honestly, if you're only at Great Adventure for one day, I would only get one ride on this. It's not worth getting the front and the back. So if you can choose, get the front. But it's not worth waiting a ton of extra cycles for over the back. So you're going to sit in your seat, you're going to pull down those classic B&M over-the-shoulder restraints. Nothing too bad about them. You can get some good room with these, which will be necessary to really appreciate all the whip and laterals this ride has. The operations on this ride are pretty good. They're definitely not the worst at Great Adventure, but definitely not the best. But they'll get the trains out in time. So you're going to pull out of the station, take a left-hand turn, and go up that lift hill before heading down that first drop. The first drop gives a little bit of laterals in the back row, not really anything towards the front, so it's basically just a ramp to build up speed. After this, you're going to pass through those emblems, like I said at the start, and then you're going to head through a vertical loop, which is pretty okay. It's pretty forceless, doesn't do much for me personally, but I could definitely see how if you're dehydrated or you're really tired, it could potentially make you feel some good G's, but I've never felt anything too good on these. After this, you'll head through a dive loop, which I think is actually pretty fun. You get some decent G's going into it on the valley between the loop and the dive loop, and the dive loop itself is floaty, nothing too special, but then you do get the fire effect, and that is really fun, just feeling the heat and seeing all the light pop up out of nowhere. It's a pretty good effect, and from my experience, they're pretty consistent with it. After this, you're going to hit one of the best parts of the ride. It's the 0G roll. You definitely want to be on the unload side for this element to really feel the full force. It's slightly better in the back, but the front, you're still going to get some good laterals on this. But in the back, you're really going to get pulled through it. So you do get a little bit of float plus some good laterals on this. It's not like Matu or Raptors, or definitely not Kumba 0G roll, but it's pretty solid. After this, you'll head through a Cobra roll. This isn't the greatest thing in the world, but you definitely do get some laterals on it. You don't really feel any G's, which is unfortunate, but again, it's a Cobra roll, and it's a mid-tier one, so you don't really expect that. After that, you're going to turn up into the mid-course, and I gotta tell you, at least on the unload side, in the front, I got a little bit of airtime going into this. It wasn't anything that strong, but I definitely came out of my seat a bit, which was a nice surprise. You're going to fly through this mid-course, not really slowing down too much, and then going through a bit of a twister section. You start off by dropping out of the mid-course and then going through a helix, which isn't too intense, but it does pass through and by a couple billboards, which is pretty cool. Some good near misses there. Before going into a bit of a stangle dive-like maneuver, you get a bit of laterals on it, but nothing too special. And then you go through the interlocking corkscrews, which is my favorite part of the ride. You get some decent hang time on these corkscrews because you take them pretty slowly, but the main selling point here is the near miss with this spiked barrel. It's really weird, but I like it. It adds to the ride a lot. The transition in between the two corkscrews is pretty tame, nothing too special there. But like I said, the corkscrews themselves give a little laterals plus that good hang time. After that, you're going to drop off a little bit, not getting any airtime, but still it's something. And then you turn up into the brakes, and that's your ride on Medusa. I also want to note that this ride is pretty smooth. There's a couple spots that could be a bit jarring to some people that are really sensitive to roughness, but if you're not like extremely sensitive, then this ride shouldn't be any sort of issue for you. So for Medusa's final score, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's a pretty basic standard ride. There's some nice fun moments to it, but overall it's just nothing too exciting, definitely nothing revolutionary about it. But it's still worth a ride when you go to Great Adventure, especially since this could be its last season. So get your rides on it now while you can in case Zimmerman decides to pull the plug on it. So that's my review of Medusa at Great Adventure. Let me know what you guys think of this ride down in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.